Senator Warnock, you have 6 minutes.
I was going to ask you, Brother Chairman.
Brother Senator, I knew you were going to ask me the question. You're also a pastor, so you get free closing.
Thank you so much. I may not need it. Actually.
Thank you.
As this committee begins
Senator,
work
get the rest of the time.
as this committee begins work on bipartisan legislation to provide certainty and clarity to the crypto market, it's critical that any bill we advance provides strong consumer protections. And this is why I'm incredibly concerned about the rise in so-called meme coins. In February, the SEC published a staff statement on meme coins, warning that they expose amateur investors to, quote, rug pull and pump and dump schemes. Mr. Massad, what do you think the effect of this staff memo will be on investors in meme coins, and do you think the SEC will bring civil actions or enforcement against any of these scammers?
Well, Senator, thank you for the question. I think the SEC has said that these are not securities, and I would agree with that. The issue then becomes if they're being listed on platforms such as centralized exchanges where people are trading Bitcoin, what should we do about that? People say we want to regulate those platforms insofar as they trade Bitcoin. We should either say they can't trade other things that aren't regulated, or whatever they trade has to be subject to the same regulations. I think in terms of immediate effects, you have these things being traded, and people can misunderstand them, can get defrauded. I don't expect the SEC or anybody else to take actions about that unless it was really a very, very serious case of fraud, and that would be up to the Justice Department.
So, these issues, I think it's important that we recognize that these aren't theoretical arguments. They impact real people in their actual lives. An analysis of coins issued on Pump.Fund, a popular meme coin generating site, indicated 60% of users on the platform lost money, with 1,700 wallets suffering losses that exceeded $100,000. What do you need, Mr. Massad, what do we need to see in a Senate bill to protect consumers from meme coin scams without sacrificing innovation in the market? I think we don't have to embrace the false choice between innovation and giving consumers reasonable protection. What would you like to see in a Senate bill?
Well, what I'd like to see is consistency between what we allow these centralized exchanges that are trading Bitcoin to trade and what's subject to the bill. In other words, if we're going to regulate those centralized exchanges, when we should do that, and they shouldn't be allowed to list things that aren't then subject to all those same regulations. And right now, the bill is very inconsistent in that respect because it excludes those meme coins from digital commodities, but it doesn't prohibit the listing of those meme coins on these very same exchanges.
So I look forward to working with my Republican colleagues as we think about these issues. This year alone, President Trump and his family have launched a meme coin, a stable coin, and a governance token. The Trump family has also indicated that they may offer a crypto wallet as well as other crypto products. They're quite active in this space. Mr. Painter, how does President Trump's promotion of cryptocurrency, including his meme coin and his family's company, intersect with his official duties and his administration's policies?
If Donald Trump were the Treasury Secretary and regulating crypto and had those interests, he would be guilty of a felony under 18 United States Code 208, the statute I referenced before, which Congress has passed and imposed on every employee of the United States government except for the members of Congress, the president, and the vice president. And this is just unacceptable to have a president who is in charge of the regulatory apparatus for any industry, including crypto, while he has such a vast interest in crypto, including a meme coin that I understand has lost somewhere around 70% of its value since Inauguration Day, I believe. I don't know who lost money on that, but I think I know who made money.
Yeah. Quickly, yes or no. So do you believe that the president having an outsized role in so many digital asset offerings will lead to fair and innovative markets? I think
No, it will lead to a lack of confidence in our regulatory system. Just as like this Congress, everyone's receiving campaign contributions from the crypto industry and voting on this bill, and then if a witness comes here and disagrees with you, you call him a whack job. I mean, this is embarrassing, what's going on in this town.
I agree that President Trump's crypto corruption distorts the digital asset marketplace, and writing a bill with a corruption caveat for the president sends a clear message that Congress is not serious about addressing corruption, which we know undermines investors' faith in capital markets. His corruption creates an unfair market that stifles innovation because his investors justifiably do not want to compete against the President of the United States. Ironically, for those who want to see us do something on market structure, it seems to me that that's not a fair market or a free market. Thank you very much for your testimony.
Amen.
You see, he said amen to the preacher.